Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sixth episode of Hooks, Lines, and Hip Hop. I'm Hakeem.
Jacoby.
Today we're going to be reviewing the new Post Malone album, Stoney. This is coming off the hype of August 26th that came out on August 26th.
Wrong.
Oh, did it not come on
Came out on
August?
May 13th.
Holy crap. Oh, do your Googles, Hakeem. Do your Googles. I'm sorry about that.
That was the day I got married. That's the only reason I remember that.
Oh, my God.
I don't have one of those, what is it, eidetic memory?
Eidetic memories, yeah. Like Sheldon.
Yeah. Or the dude from Criminal Minds.
Ooh, I haven't watched that show before. Alright, we're getting off topic.
Sorry.
Anyways, it came out earlier this year on May 13th, as Jake corrected me. It was pretty good. It was White Girl Turn Up. Jake, what'd you think about it?
I didn't really care for it, to be honest. Okay. I thought the 2 Chainz song was underwhelming, and it's on this album too. But it was alright. Obviously, I listened to Coloring Book way harder than I listened to August 26th, so...
Yep. I can remember 7 times on the night it came out. So.
Yeah, we turned up to that on the 13th.
Yeah, that was dope. Good times. Anyways, I think he took a few more risks on this album. What do you think, Jake?
Well, both of them took risks. He obviously put the first one, or his mixtape out August 26th, the same day as Coloring Book.
May 13th.
May 13th, yes. Put out on the same day as Chance's mixtape, which was, waited, 3 years since Acid Rap?
Yeah.
The latest we had heard from him was the Ultralight Beam feature, and I think he had a few other features.
He also did the Surf album.
Yeah, true, that's right. That was a good album, too.
That was good.
We hadn't really heard much of his traditional style.
Yeah.
So he took a risk there, and then on this one, we'll get into more details, but the last song on the track, Feeling Whitney, was a huge risk, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah.
And also going with the same days, or the same other albums that were put out on that day. I mentioned to you that if I were him, I would have made up some BS. Oh, I have a sample I have to clear, just so I didn't have to compete with J. Cole numbers.
Speaking of BS to be made up, not to get completely off topic, but Drake is delaying the drop of More Life until 2017, which I don't think it's all because of J. Cole and Ab-Soul dropping on December 9th, mainly J. Cole. But he is delaying the release to 2017, and I think that's a smart move because he put out so much music this year, and last year, it was Drake overload for about 6 months, I feel like. So I think he can wait, and I hope that this is going to mean higher quality music than if he would have just dropped it this month. But yeah, Post Malone is definitely ballsy for dropping on December 9th, the same day as J. Cole and Ab-Soul, who are both extremely lyrical. It's like night and day listening to this album as opposed to a J. Cole's album, for example.
But a thing to mention about Post Malone is he uses auto-tune. He doesn't go for the Future sound or the T-Pain sound. He found his own niche within auto-tune and has kind of cornered himself, and he's got his little piece of music.
Right.
And it sounds completely unique from, say, another auto-tune rapper music, so.
Yeah, when I was listening to this album, I was immediately thinking about Birds in the Trap. I think it's just because they're both more vibe albums.
Yeah.
And they're more turn-up albums. But yeah, I don't think he uses it as heavily as Travis Scott, for example, where Travis will almost completely mask his voice. I think Post Malone uses it as a spice.
Yeah.
Just something to adjust his voice a little bit.
Same thing with Travis Scott. He's found his own little corner in music.
Absolutely.
And it uses auto-tune to his advantage and has a sound that's completely unique to him.
Absolutely. I was kind of surprised to hear a lot of folk influence on this album.
Which we mentioned, I don't remember what episode it was, talking about the Hot 97 and the Breakfast Club interviews where he talks about he was raised on folk, classic rock, and country music.
Yeah.
So I could see the influences there.
Right, and I think he said this on Breakfast Club where White Iverson wasn't really his typical type of music that he was making.
No.
He was making more country and rock music, and you can definitely tell on songs like Go Flex and the last song, Feeling Whitney.
Very folkish.
Yeah, very, very. And I think that's kind of risky in a hip hop album or in a hip hop realm. I wouldn't even classify this as one genre. There's so much influence in folk and EDM. A lot of EDM on this album. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, I was just waiting for like a huge drop at the end. Even though the producers he worked with, one of them was Metro Boomin, which I wouldn't have really guessed. There wasn't really any heavy trap beats on this one. It was mostly just pop, EDM, and folk.
Yeah. What did you think about the singles? I mean, all the singles were good. I was kind of shocked to see White Iverson and Too Young on there. Which, I mean, this is his first album, but Too Young is really old.
White Iverson's older than Too Young.
Is it?
White Iverson's older than Too Young by like 2 or 3 months. I mean, they came out pretty close last year. I loved Deja Vu. Justin Bieber did his thing on that one.
Yeah, he did.
And after
their little beef too kind of played that song up too.
Yeah, they had this like picture that they took in a club where Post Malone was like choking Justin Bieber out, but he even admitted on Hot 97 that they just kind of did it to play a joke on everybody. I love Deja Vu. I love Congratulations with Quavo. That was probably the closest to a trap sound, and I think I would put that more on Quavo than I would on Post Malone. Right. I'm not a huge fan of Go Flex. That was another one that came out a while ago.
That one came out a while ago. Yeah. I did like the guitar in the background. I need to read through some of the production credits and see if he actually played the guitar. I know he does play guitar. Yeah. He's played his guitar at several shows. So I would love to know if he actually played that riff throughout the song. Yeah, it definitely better than Speeding Bullet to Heaven. I know Kid Cudi played the guitar, but it was like the same little 6 chords on every song.
Yeah, Kid Cudi I think was going for a lot more of a left field kind of sound with Speeding Bullet to Heaven, whereas this one is definitely safe, mainstream, nice hooks, fun to listen to. Wow. It's pleasant on the ears. There's nothing really on there where you're gonna be like, it's not going to be challenging to listen or anything.
No, not at all.
If you like catchy hooks, if you like melody, if you liked songs like White Iverson and Deja Vu, you'll pretty much love the rest of this album.
Well, when I was listening to it, I was thinking, this is actually pretty good, and it can compete with the other albums that came out on the night. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not going to do the numbers that J. Cole's going to do or Absol's going to do. Yeah. But I think it was received well. I read a lot of good things on Twitter. Mm-hmm. There was some bad stuff too. Yeah. I mean, of course, you're gonna have like the Cole dick riders, for a better word or phrase. You've got the TDE fans that are like, "Oh, we're all about conscious rap," and this really isn't rap. It's, I don't know. He's more of a hook singer. I was thinking while I was listening to it that I hope he gains some respect through this and gets to do some hooks on like actual rap songs.
It reminded me of, believe it or not, of Fetty Wap's album. Fetty Wap's album was another thing where I felt like the hooks were so good, and even his sound is really good. Like songs like Again and Trap Queen, especially Again, where they're both kind of like artists that I could see doing hooks for people. Right. Not saying Post Malone can't hold his own on one song. But
no. But I think it would be cool to see. Like, I was kind of hoping like Quavo did the song. Like in my mind, I would like to think like he did it for free for him. Mm-hmm. And said, when the Migos album comes out, I want you to do a hook with us.
That would be ideal. Yeah. I don't know. I think the only thing I would say on Congratulations is, even though I liked the sound on that song, I didn't feel any chemistry between him and Quavo. No. They did this. They felt really disconnected. Like when Quavo comes in, I just feel like, oh, it's a cool Quavo feature, and then just cuts off. There's no real connection with the song except for him saying congratulations.
Which, have you seen any like big artists really hanging out with him? I mean, besides Justin Bieber.
Post Malone? Yeah. I know Jaden Smith hung out with him really early.
Fuck me. I said artist.
Probably like Justin. Kanye West.
Oh, that is true.
Kanye West was one of the first ones.
He played Kylie's birthday party.
Yeah, he played Kylie's birthday. Yeah.
Then Kanye asked him, like, what are you working on? Yep. And it was
he's on the Life of Pablo.
Yeah, it was either the Breakfast Club or the Hot 97 interview, he said that he had music with Kanye, but he would not confirm if it was going to be on Kanye's end or his end. And then Life Pablo came out and he was on Fade.
Yeah.
Even though it was a short part, it was still good. But I don't know. It would be cool if he kind of branched out. I mean, I know he has his roots in country and folk and rock. But if he kind of hung out with some of these people and built relationships with them, they probably can make cooler music.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest criticisms about Post Malone when he first came out was the way he was dressed. Especially like...
It looks like he stinks. I'm just going to say that. He looks like... Him and Riff Raff look like they open for each other.
No, Riff Raff has definitely changed his look since he got fucking buff. But, yeah, I think the thing about Post Malone was he came in with the cornrows on the White Iverson song, and a lot of people felt like he was caricaturing hip-hop and black hairstyles and stuff.
Charlemagne, which I don't want to...
What have you done for Black Lives Matter?
I don't want to validate Charlemagne at all, but he called it a culture vulture several times in that Breakfast Club interview.
I think he was more so asking the question, do you think people would consider you a culture vulture? But when you ask a question enough times, it implants the idea in people's heads.
We all know that he's kind of backhanded and snide.
Most definitely.
I don't even want to... I could do a whole episode talking about fucking Charlemagne. Anyway, but yeah, you're right. His appearance... I mean, he does. He looks like he smells like cigarettes and cheap beer. Does he not? He
drinks Bud Light on radio interviews, and he does smoke cigarettes. So you might be right. But
I don't know. But appearances. A lot of it. I mean, I know a lot of people that are turned off when they see a picture of Danny Brown. I don't want to listen to him.
That tooth missing thing, and I mean,
looks like a crack whore.
Yeah,
when people pull up an album and they see this nappy looking dude sitting there, they're not gonna want to listen to his music.
Yeah, he's on the album cover of this one. He's got like kind of the Pusha T braids, but not really. But I don't think that should deter you from the music that he's making. Not. However, the first track, Broken Whiskey Glass, was a bit odd.
I think it could have been a cool interlude, but it just started, which. We'll talk more about Feeling Whitney at the end, but they kind of had the same kind of vibe. They were less auto-tuned, more left to what his usual sound is. So maybe that was his point, was he wanted to put something in at the beginning and the end that sounded similar.
I didn't think about that. That would definitely, that makes sense. However, I think the difference is Broken Whiskey Glass isn't really lyrical enough to where it merits that, like,
comparison
deep...
of the two.
Yeah, like Feeling Whitney, I think he was trying to do something on, whereas Broken Whiskey Glass, it was trying to seem like a deep, kind of like, almost like a dark album in the beginning, with the raven or the crow in the back and the guitar and stuff.
He had so many singles, he could have just spaced them out throughout the album, started with a single, a few songs that were not singles, a single, and so on.
Big Lie would have been a good first song. I liked Big Lie. I listen, whenever I go and listen to this album, Broken Whiskey Glass is a song I skip. I just don't care for it. Like you said, it would have been a cool interlude, and I think had he just kept that guitar and the dark mood and put it at like number 8 or 9, it would have been cool. It would have been a cool bridge, but it's not.
I did just notice this looking at the track list.
Yeah.
I downloaded the deluxe version on Apple Music.
Same.
And Feeling Whitney is actually not the last song. It is the last song on the deluxe version, and it's a bonus track. The last song on the just studio album is yours truly, Austin Post. So my comparison of the two isn't really.
Oh, so strong. 15 through 18 aren't even on the standard.
Are not on the regular.
That kind of changes the album a little bit.
Who doesn't buy the bonus is like, if you go and actually buy music, it's like $2 more.
Yeah, not only that, with streaming now, I don't really think there's very many people listening to
No, I wouldn't have known that unless I looked at the track list on a different website and app than iTunes.
Yeah, I think most people are listening to the deluxe edition. Okay, so just so everybody knows, our feeling on the album is going to be based on the deluxe edition.
Yes.
But
this also, I mentioned this about the 2 Chainz song being on the album again. That is a bonus track. So I'd have to go back and listen to August 26th. It may be remastered and have some different samples or some samples taken out. So I'll definitely research that.
Yeah, for sure. I think another song I liked on here a lot. I love Deja Vu. Yes. I said that before. Yeah. Deja Vu is a great
we
song.
mentioned before, Justin Bieber could live off of features.
Yeah, he for sure can. I think that's easily my favorite song off this album.
Yeah, I like that one. I did like Congratulations a lot.
Yeah.
My favorite was definitely Feeling Whitney.
Yeah, talk about that, because I heard it, and he like texted me about it, and he sent me the screenshot of it and said, "Holy shit." And I was like, it's either really good or really bad.
Yeah. Well, he texted me, he was like, "Do you like it?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, there's zero auto-tune. Yeah. I said, it's the last song on the album. It's almost like a middle finger to all the people that said, "Oh, he's no good. He relies on auto-tune to sell songs and sell records," which isn't true at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I think the problem with Post Malone again was when he came in with the hair and talking about White Iverson, which Allen Iverson is a staple, not only in basketball but in hip hop as well. It was just kind of weird seeing a white guy hop on a very popular sound.
I know Allen Iverson talked about like legal action against him.
For using his name in the song and stuff?
Well, I mean, he used his last name, but nothing ever ended up coming of it, I don't think.
I remember Post Malone said that he asked Allen Iverson if he would be in the music video with him, and AI said no. So. Yeah, so right then, you don't have a lot of, like, positives in the beginning. No. Aside from the fact that you can't deny how catchy the song is.
Well, this song kind of gave me some insight, and it got me thinking, what if he came out with this auto-tune sound to blow up, and he's going to change his sound like Gambino?
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking at first, and that's the definition almost of a culture vulture. Except when Gambino does it, it's considered creative, and then when
Tyler did it with Yonkers. He openly said in a song,
yeah,
he said, Yonkers, sick of hearing about Yonkers. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that it worked. I attack and I conquer. So he's kind of talking about making this song that was more traditionally hip hop to get his name out there.
Yeah. That was on Colossal.
Yeah, because I didn't hear Bastard first. I heard Goblin first, right? Because he was at the Grammys.
Yeah,
heard it, went back and listened to Bastard. So I think that, it's kind of shitty. You finessed a bunch of people, but you got your name out there and got popular.
But the difference is Tyler didn't really necessarily change from like rap. He just said that Yonkers was more of a joke at first. He said because he was like we were listening to this and we wanted to make like the most trash New York beat, and it turned out to be really freaking catchy, and everyone liked his dark voice on it and stuff like that. But I think the problem with Post Malone is he wasn't always making this kind of music. And again, White Iverson, Ebro asked him if he was caricaturing rap, which I don't necessarily think he is. I think he's just a creative type. He might be a little eccentric. And
Kanye obviously thinks he's an eccentric type if he let him
Yeah.
hang out with him and listen to his album.
Definitely.
And featured on the album.
Yeah. Yeah. And if he does end up changing his sound, it might be for the better, honestly, because I don't see him being able to do much more with this sound as in a whole album's worth of music, because 68 minutes of this is... you kind of zone out at some point, because sometimes it sounds like one big song, because it
sounds the same.
Yeah, it's very samey, which is cool because it makes the album feel connected and jointed, and it feels like one idea, but...
You're not listening, like, I know, listening to, like, the Absol album and the Haji album, you were listening for what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. This one, you're more listening to the vibe and the way it makes you feel.
Yeah. And the beats are really good, too. Again, I think the production on this was pretty top-notch. It's not something that I think will really shock you in a way, because this sound is so overused now that, again, if he ends up changing, I would understand, because a 68-minute album talking about the deluxe length is a lot of music, and it's enjoyable to listen to, but it's not going to be something that's really like memorable as like J. Cole's album, for example, where he took a lot of risks. He goes for a more jazz hop sound. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. If you want to hear that, listen to our review of J. Cole.
This has some replay value, but I think it's because of how good the singles were.
Yeah.
Like, White Iverson dominated the charts for a while.
Too
Young was good. That was more of an underground hit. I don't really remember the radio playing that one. It's hard.
But I love that song.
Congratulations will be a good one to go back and listen to. That was a late single, wasn't it? That one was out before the album.
Yeah, that one came out like 2 weeks or a week or so before.
So the singles have good replay value, and I'll probably listen to some of the other tracks going back. But now, before Apple Music and all the streaming websites, there were albums I listened to. Like, I listened to shit out of them.
Yeah.
But now there's so much music.
Yeah.
You almost have to have a top-notch album to be remembered in a year.
Or length, or just cut it really short. Yeah. Like, that's why I think while people were upset, J. Cole, oh, you only came with 12 new songs. Oh, it's only 48 minutes. Yeah, but listen to what he's saying in 48 minutes. He's saying a hell of a lot more than what Post Malone is saying in 68 minutes. Yeah. Like,
well, and people don't look for Post Malone to say something.
No, not at all. But what I mean is, in order for something to get played more than once, it either has to be on the shorter end, or it has to be like insane. Like, To Pimp a Butterfly, it's by no means a short album, but you've got this like funk inspired sound, a lot of interesting samples, and then you've got the poem that's within the tracks that he repeats. And then you've got the Tupac interview at the end, and you're like, holy shit, there's so much going on. But with this, there's not much going on, but it's a lot of fun to listen to. It's something that you can play if you're in a car full of people that you don't really know.
It's white people's Dirty Sprite, too.
Oh, my God. That might be the best comparison.
That's funny.
Oh, man. I still love Dirty Sprite, too. God damn.
They steep dog.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Again... Yeah. Or like a Birds in the Trap, where there's a lot of really good hooks. It's catchy. It's fun to listen to. Although I maybe you were right. It is Dirty Sprite too for white people.
For white people.
Stoney. Yeah. DS Stoney.
You don't have to worry about like bumping in your car and accidentally saying the N-word in front of like a dude sitting next to you at the red light. You can just jam out to some Deja Vu. Some white girls will like it because Biebs is in it.
When you
Biebs in the Trap.
Biebs in the Trap. Bieber and Stoney Post Malone is DS2 for white people.
Yep.
Holy crap.
You heard it here first.
I could definitely see that. When you hear him rap, sometimes does he sound a bit like Justin Bieber?
A little, but
like when I heard Deja Vu, I couldn't get it out of my head after that. I was like, it took me a while to go back to understanding Post Malone rapping. I heard too much Bieber.
Bieber's a good rapper, though.
Don't say that. Hang on.
Did you hear...
He's got good freestyles. He's got moments. He's not a good rapper.
There's a Chris Brown mixtape where he redoes Ladies Love Me.
I know.
And Justin Bieber has a verse, and it is sick.
Again, he's got good verses. He's got moments.
I'm not saying he should put out a rap album.
He should never put out a rap album. And if he does, they need to bring back those videos of him dropping the N-word excessively. Like... The chainsaw joke? Oh my god, that one's horrible. And then also the joke he did where he remixed Lonely Girl, that song he did. Have you heard that one?
I don't remember that.
Ooh, I go look that up. Look up Lonely Girl racist remix.
The 14-year-old Bieber just murdered the Otis beat. Come on.
Okay.
If you're trying to compare him to he raps like Bieber, that's not really that bad of a...
It's not like
Soulja Boy. That's bad.
No, it's not. Hit him with that Draco. Shout out to Soulja Boy. One of the best diss songs of 2016. Oh my god. But I just felt like there was a lot of Bieber in his voice, not necessarily.
If they're that good of friends, I'm sure they play each other.
They did a whole tour together.
Yeah.
And so I mean, yeah. Which is, like you said, is not a bad thing. I don't take what Justin Bieber said at 14 as like a statement on who he is now.
He's pretty lucky that he didn't ruin his career with that. Paula Deen lost her career, and is really discredited for what she said.
Right.
So very lucky that didn't blow up more than it did.
Her career didn't end. Her demographic just changed. White supremacists love her.
The Ku Klux Klan cookbook, spelled with a K. The Bloods like it too.
What did you say, Blood?
Briss Breezy loves that. He gets
that's his favorite cooking book. Oh my god! All right, getting back to
the thing. He's got a lot of bread for that butter.
Oh my god!
All right.
Just turning into bad jokes now. Yeah, go back to the album though. While yes, he does have like hints of Bieber in his voice, I was able to come back and he sounds like Post Malone again, I guess. Just after Deja Vu, they sound so similar.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. One of my favorite songs on this album was definitely "Feel" with Kalani. That song to me had the most evidence of a topic, I guess, and they were kind of going back and forth where, it was like a little love story, and it was a little generic, but I liked it. And Kalani's voice is very strong, and she's still able to sound sexual while still showing her talent as well.
Who could like have sexual desire for Post Malone?
He's got a girlfriend.
Okay.
I'm sure it's there.
All right.
Yeah, maybe his money helps.
Probably.
Helps everybody. Helps everybody.
True.
It's a good song though. Aside from,
I'm not knocking that at all.
I'm not judging his looks when I was thinking about the story. I just thought it was a good love song. Fuck. Another song I told you I liked was "Big Lie." I think that should have been the intro song.
Yeah.
That
Broken Whiskey Glass probably could have just not been on the album.
Yeah, thinking about it now, it should just.
Or he could have put it at the end.
Or that could have been a bonus track.
Yeah, he could have put that before Feeling Whitney. Then you have the same kind of feel.
That could have been risky because again, I think Feeling Whitney does a better job at showing his talents without the auto tune and the folk sound than Broken Whiskey Glass did. I think, like you said, it just shouldn't have been.
It almost sounded like garage band rockish.
Yeah,
It's kind of almost like you were listening to it, and like it was on in one room and you were listening to it in another. It's got a lot of reverb and echo.
Right, and he does this. There's a part in it where his flow kind of starts making you almost bop your head to it.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's trying to sound deep, but it's just not succeeding because it's so ethereal and boring. Like it's too airy. It's too airy. I need a little bit of context when he's going for that sound, and Feeling Whitney does a decent job at that. Let's talk about that track.
All right.
Tell me why you liked it so much.
I just liked it because, like I told you, I said that it kind of discredits all those that say he's not talented. He can't sing. He uses autotune to sell records, which he obviously could sell a folk album if he had that kind of following.
Yeah.
I like the Whitney Houston motifs. Kind of talks about her. Obviously, a life that was gone too early.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of understands. I mean, he's a new celebrity, obviously. Talks about not wanting to die too young in the single "Too Young."
Love that song.
So I can see why he would have like an affinity and a gravitation to Whitney Houston if that's the way how he really feels.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of how fame can turn him and really end his career and his life.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a verse on here that I was just reading, and it says, "And I've been looking for someone that I can buy my drugs from. It seems like every plug ran east to Utah became Mormons." I don't know. That was so funny. I didn't even feel like I heard it the first time.
I didn't notice that.
That's beautiful. Having 80 beers on a Tuesday night, that's a bit excessive.
Hey, you saved that for Wednesday.
Yeah, I know, at least. Or a Thirsty Thursday. But I think you can tell in his interviews that he could possibly be feeling some pressures from this newfound fame. Because, like, he was drinking a beer at, like, 8 a.m. When he was doing the Hot 97 interview.
Well,
that's a bit of an alcoholic. Like,
I had a PBR the other day at 11:30.
That's PBR. That's just shitty.
Should I not have said that?
Do you need help, Jake?
No, I drink it because it tastes good.
Tweet us if Jake needs help at HLHPO or if you know good clinic.
Yeah, definitely, I think he is kind of mentioning fame a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Again, like I think Feeling Whitney and Too Young are good similarities almost.
I mean, he says, "I can't even leave my bedroom, so I keep pouring." So he may be dealing with not being able to go out and live his life how it used to, so now he just sits in his room and drinks.
That's a good point. I think I think the thing that would give that more merit is if he could expound on his ideas aside from just some clever punchlines or some references to such an iconic figure like Whitney, I think he could do that more with with a folkish kind of sound.
Yeah. Well, he has this line that says, "Cars and clothes, thought I was winning, you knew I was losing."
Right.
And it kind of mentions how
losing himself, kind of.
Well, yeah, in society views, like, if you see somebody in an expensive car, you think, oh, they must be rich. They must be a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Charlie Sheen coined the phrase winning. And obviously he was losing at the time he was calling himself a winner. But he mentions how all these possessions around him don't make him who he is. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to know when he's talking about "you knew I was losing," mm-hmm. I'd like to know who he was talking to, because he says that he's been looking for someone to put up with his bullshit. So I wonder if he's talking about an ex or people that he's known in the past.
I think this is a time where sometimes we can't read too deep into the lyrics, because again, I mean, who knows? Maybe he is talking to somebody, but like I said, he's had the same girlfriend since before he kind of blew up. Yeah. He doesn't even he says on the Hot 97 interview that he's not an alcoholic, or he's always been drinking kind of early and stuff like that, which could be denial, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not in his life.
Well, the only reason I read into this one is this is the one that sounded the most serious. Besides the Kalani track, he's actually talking about something.
That makes sense.
I think that if, like you said, if he could expound on some of his ideas and inner thoughts, he could have a cool folk or alternative album.
Yeah. I think that almost would be an interesting move for him, because his voice is not bad by any means. No. He has a great voice, and maybe now that he's gotten some clout or some hype behind him using this airy cloud rap sound, he could move in and do something else, do something different that would allow him to explore folk music a little more. Now,
you kind of mentioned how he may be in denial about the alcoholic whatever. Yeah. It kind of I don't know. The album's kind of like an identity crisis, because he has all these big singles, mm-hmm. and then he has these like folk songs. I mean, I don't know. We've seen artists that, like Tyler, who've been inspired by jazz. Cherry Bomb was not a jazz album.
No.
He used jazz samples to make a hip hop album. Yeah. So I think it would have been cooler to use like country songs, folk songs, sample those and make them into a hip hop album. So I think, this is his first studio album, right. So he is still finding himself and finding his sound. Yeah.
I think the only thing that would have been risky with that is the only other or rapper that I could think that does that is Yellow Wolf. And Yellow Wolf, yeah. See, you laughed. Imagine if he'd have done something like a Yellow Wolf then. It could have turned out bad. Because, honestly, Yellow Wolf, while I think he's in his own lane, he straddles that line where it's almost not rap anymore. Yeah. Especially the last album.
The only thing I can I don't know, Yellow Wolf what is the song on the A$AP Rocky album? One Train?
Yeah.
That song was so good until Yellow Wolf started. Ruined the whole song.
Yeah, he's got that Best Friend single too. Which again, that's what I'm saying. If Post Malone would have used too much country, it could have turned a lot of people off.
Which is I would be confident in saying that Post Malone is more popular than Yellow Wolf at the time. Right? In this moment right now.
Yeah, I don't think Post Malone Yellow Wolf, I don't think he ever gained mainstream fame the way Post Malone did. And if he ends up chasing more of a pop rap sound, fine. Good luck to him. I don't know. I don't know how much more he can do with this sound.
No. So it kind of adds to my idea of him maybe putting this out to gain some recognition, mm-hmm. and then he's going to do not a 180 and completely go backwards, but kind of turn.
If he has something up his sleeve, then I could see that. Or this could be a Fetty Wap situation where this album comes out and then that's it. But I think no, because I don't even think he's more established than Fetty Wap, because Fetty Wap 2015 was his year. Yeah. Fetty Wap was 2015's year, and he's put out music since then, but it's not heating up the same way. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen to Post Malone. He should keep hanging out with Justin Bieber. Maybe Bieber will give him some hooks and stuff. Keep him relevant. But this album is good, but it's not something that I want to listen to all the way through. It's one of those you can put on shuffle,
Yeah.
or you pick the 5 or 6 songs that were really good and you just play those.
Yeah. I just thought of another comparison.
What is it?
White Weekend.
White Week? No. Weekend.
You like
Weekend.
Dirty Sprite 2 better?
Yeah, Dirty Sprite 2 works because Weekend has some serious talent behind him. Not saying Post Malone is not talented. Oh boy, I think the more we keep talking about it, the more I'm going to say I hate this album, which I don't.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
I was impressed with it when I heard it.
But was 18 tracks too much for you,
Yes.
or were you okay with it?
No, it was too much.
What would you have capped it at?
If he would have taken the singles away and had some more songs that were single caliber,
Yeah.
the album would have been fine because I think he had 5 or 6 singles out. So that gives you a 12 to 14 song album, even if you kept one or two of the singles.
Right. I'm trying to... Here, I'm going to pull up the
To be
track
fair,
list.
the actual track list was only 14 songs.
Right,
He
but
had
the
a
one
full
everyone's going to hear is the deluxe.
Is the deluxe.
It's like, yeah, okay, he put out 14 songs, but... it's
If he would have
18.
cut 3 or 4 of those singles out, it would have reduced the... But then it may have reduced the replay value of the album. So it's kind of stuck in the middle trying to decide what to do.
See, because here are the songs that I would play. I would play Big Lie again. I'd play Deja Vu. I'd play White Iverson. I would play Too Young, Congratulations, Feel, and that's it.
Yeah,
6 songs.
The money, like you said with Quavo, I
Yeah.
don't think 2 Chainz and Post Malone had any chemistry.
No.
I think
no.
that either 2 Chainz owed him a favor, or I don't know. But he loaned 2 Chainz a cigarette. I don't know. But it's almost. I mean, it just seemed like 2 Chainz emailed him his track and said, "Here, put this on whatever."
Yeah.
But I obviously don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't really know either. Again, 2 Chainz is one of those people that you can put him on any kind of song and he can do his thing on it, and it either sounds really good or just
His
really
features
bad.
are usually I love 2 Chainz features, but his albums and mixtapes to me aren't as high quality as his features.
Right.
So when I saw that on August 26th, I think that was the first or second song on the album. I think it was the second.
That was supposed to be the release date, apparently, that he was going to put this album out. But it apparently got delayed.
I listened to that and I was like, this is not good. I mean, the feature on 3500, any 2 Chainz features are awesome.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say that was a bad feature. I was about to fight you over
was
that.
good.
Because that's a great feature. Yeah. Yeah, again, there has to be some sort of chemistry. And Congratulations is a good song, but it sort of feels like there's just this weird disconnect after Quavo's part's done that it doesn't really connect to the to Post Malone's part. So I think this is more of like him trying to go with who's most popular, except with the Kalani feature, because Kalani is not she's not irrelevant by any means, but she's not a huge name, and I think it was a good move for him because there was some genuine chemistry on that. He could have chosen someone like Rihanna to do that song.
He doesn't have that much money, please.
No, that's an expensive feature, I'm sure. But what I mean is he could have chosen someone big. Like, he's a major label artist. I'm sure they would put money behind him.
Now, what would you think of Congratulations if Quavo did the hook? Would you think it would be any better? I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be the same hook. It'd be a little different.
Yeah. It feels like
It would have
could
given
been
you
a
more
different song.
opportunity to hear the project together.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Quavo's going to have more than just that one part.
Right.
And it may have... If Quavo did email or they just went in the studio, recorded it, Post Malone could have kind of fabricated chemistry almost, because he would have something to work around rather than him having his song and then Quavo saying, here's my part, and I'm just sticking it in the song.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I think Quavo's a really talented artist. Just some songs, some people just don't mesh. I don't know. There's something. This album does a lot of things.
What
right,
about
but it's
Swale?
missing.
That would have been a cool one.
Swale would have been a good one.
Because they're both kind of airy and sing-songish. Quavo's more...
Swaley's more of a turn-up sound though. Like his voice, it almost sounds like teenagers.
Him and Quavo, I wish they would go out on their own. I know people will hate me for saying that.
Quavo, the Migos are all dropping separate mixtapes. Offset and Quavo just put out like 4 tracks by themselves. So I mean, I could see it. Sway Lee's talking about doing a solo project.
See, I don't like them together. I don't like their group, but I like him on his own. I liked him on the Travis Scott Rodeo album, but just not a fan of the group. I mean, Black Beatles was cool.
You gotta hear. Have you heard Cocoon?
I can't say that I
Oh
have.
boy, I got my. Hey guys, I think I leaked my hidden hit a little too early. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this album.
I don't either. I'll give it a grade.
Yeah, what would you say?
6 out of 10.
I was gonna go with a 5.5.
Okay.
It's and I've seen a lot of other reviews giving it like 3 out of 5 stars, and that's what it is. It's a middle of the road. It's a pleasant listen. You're not gonna pull much from it. You're gonna have some songs that you want to replay a lot. Yeah. Deja Vu, I played that like all day. Like those first 5 singles that came out, I was playing them all day, and yeah, bravo to him for making some really good singles.
Like you said on the Weekend episode, if you have a good sound system in your car, you'll like this. Like I'll listen to this in my car.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I'm sitting in my house, like I write poetry, so if I'm gonna write, I'm obviously not gonna write listening to a Post Malone album.
No.
I'll listen to To Pimp a Butterfly or 2014 Forest Hills Drive, something more introspective.
Right. Something with, it's not as generic.
Something that provokes me to write better.
Yeah, some songs you'll hear them right away, and they just, I know for me, sometimes I'll just start pulling out my phone and I'll just want to write to something as soon as it comes on. But there's nothing on this album that does that for me. And sometimes if you just have this on rotation or just going, it'll sound like one long song.
I think the only thing that if I were writing something, or listening to this and it would prompt me to write something, would be Too Young, just because of the message behind it.
Yeah. Also the darker beat.
Yeah. Well, and the stuff like the issues that are in the news with gun violence, injustices by police, and
what about
society.
Feeling Whitney?
I mean, I can't really relate to the celebrity problems as much.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. That's why J. Cole and Kendrick and Chance are kind of more relatable, because they almost seem as normal people. Yeah,
there's not really any materialism being spouted up, especially not on J. Cole's album. Yeah, it was a good effort by Post Malone, and you're definitely gonna pull some songs that you're gonna really like on this album. And it's a 5.5 for me, and it's a 6 for you. So yeah, very very average album. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
No, better than the mixtape. So he's getting better. Yeah. So I will listen to the next project that comes out for sure. Yeah, it was enough to get me to listen next time. I agree with that. All right. So what's your hidden hit? My hidden hit is "Cocoon" by the Migos. I know what we're. As soon as we say goodbye to y'all, we'll pull up YouTube, and I'm gonna end up listening to this. Yes. So as you should. It's a good song. We'll see. Yeah. All right. What's yours? A couple episodes ago, right after every time we end an episode, we get on the internet and look at new stuff that's coming out. Yeah. Kind of prepare for our next episode, and we saw the Red Friday tape a couple weeks ago, last week. Yeah. It leaked early, and we played. What's the song? Trill? 21 Savage. No, that one's a good one to a Lil Wayne. That one wasn't on Red Friday. No, it wasn't. I Be On is what it's called, because it goes, I Be On bullshit. Very West Coast song. It features 21 Savage, and the words that Hakeem said were perfect when we listened to it. He was like, he is woke on this, and he is. Mm-hmm. Like, usually a 21 Savage song, he's kind of mumbling. Mm-hmm. Not anywhere near on beat, which, I don't know, gives me a fucking headache listening to it. Makes me anxious. Anyway, he was on beat. I liked it. He had some good lines, too, which is weird. I mean, we all know that the hit her with no condom, make her eat a plant. Like, it's funny, but I don't know. Like, I chuckled the first time I heard it, and then now it's just annoying. But it's a good song. I mean, I would honestly say that 21 Savage outdid YG, because I'm not a huge YG fan. Wow. Every song sounds the same. Like, remember when we listened to production. When we listened to it, I'm there, fuck Donald Trump. And I mean, it's the same beat, just different hi-hats, different 808s. It's completely different. That's a lot to do with Mustard, by the way. DJ Mustard, if you listen to his just listen to a lot of DJ Mustard. Cold Summer. Yeah. And the tracks were very similar. It's a snap, and then just, hey, and a clap, and that's it. And it is, he's kind of, I mean, The Game is a West Coast rapper, but you listen to some of his music, and you would not say, like, immediately, oh, he's from the West Coast. No. But YG has that, like, West Coast flow and the West Coast sound in his music. Right.
And Still Brazy is a good album if you guys haven't heard it. But okay, so I Beyond is your hidden hit.
Beyond's my hidden hit.
And Cocoon is mine, so definitely go check those out, guys. We're going to have a link to our Twitter and to the hidden hits as well. And thank you guys for listening.
All right, thanks.